We've got some.
Hey, I'm Luis.
And I'm Luis.
And you're listening to the Content is Profit podcast.
We spent the last 4 years learning the strategies and techniques from some of the top marketers in the world on how to create content that turns into profit. And today, we're bringing them to you so you can take action immediately and start creating real content momentum.
If you'd like to learn more about how to turn your content into profit, go to contentisprofit.com. Oh, yeah.
That's right, guys. And today's special episode, we're going to be talking about how to cash in on your skill.
I want to know.
Yeah, we all want to.
Yes. All right, guys. But before we get started, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Smash it if you need to. And please follow us on social media at BizBrosCo on Facebook and Instagram. Again, at BizBrosCo.
That's right, guys. And if you find this episode impactful, please don't forget to share it and leave a 5-star review. Thank you.
Whoa. So today's guest we met at our incredible coaching program. We connected quickly with him, and not only because of the fact that we all speak Spanish, but because he also lived in Jacksonville, Florida. Coincidence much?
Coincidence indeed. We actually got to see how his mind worked. Silent but deadly. I remember we were sitting next to each other having a delicious dinner when a thought popped into our minds. A campaign to conquer the Hispanic market. Yes, guys, his eyes shined with the possibilities. I could see his mind working a plan at that exact moment.
He's extremely knowledgeable when it comes to marketing and customer acquisition campaigns. Some of his achievements include a live training inside of Graziosi's online Mastermind group, helping multiple clients reach 6 figures, and teaching the Bible and community outreach with his wife in his spare time.
Not to mention that he is putting together an incredible summit with some amazing entrepreneurs like Dana Derricks, Steve Larson, Dean Graziosi, Billy Genius Marketing, and many more. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can
that be tomorrow, please?
It's going to be absolutely amazing. Guys, please welcome proud husband, customer acquisition expert, and fellow Jacksonvillian, Mr. Spin Crissen. Woo!
Wow, you guys are awesome.
Let's go,
Welcome, Steven. Welcome to the show. We are so excited to have you here. Oh, man,
I'm so excited to be here. You guys are awesome. Love the intro.
Awesome, man.
We always get like super pumped up, so I'm glad you enjoyed it. We have a lot of fun writing these intros, actually. So.
Exactly.
Actually, I forgot that you guys even remember that. I'm glad the whole topic about conquering.
Hey, we will conquer the Hispanic market. Don't worry. Hey, we're gonna do it, Steven. We haven't forgot.
We have a plan. It's coming together. But so, dude, Steven, well, obviously we're extremely excited. You can notice with our voices. I can't talk. But anyways, it's Thursday. We never do a show on Thursday, and the reason we did a show on Thursday is because obviously, we appreciate you. We appreciate what you're doing for the marketplace, and we want to bring the attention to you on what you're doing. So before we get on that, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what put you on this path to deliver amazing, incredible value?
So quite simply, I'm a digital marketing agency owner. I started Crissen online. And the reason why I did it was because at first I would just want to obviously get my own business, and I have a background in cybersecurity. Not many people know about that.
Oh wow!
So what I learned in cybersecurity, I wanted to apply it in marketing and advertising, and see how that worked and how I can be able to support and bring value to people that way. Not only getting people more clients, but also protecting their business at the same time.
That's a good view, man.
Yeah. How does cybersecurity and marketing come together? I'm curious now.
Well, it's the same framework. So the way you protect your business is the same framework where you actually go know who you're trying to actually market to, the target audience. You're just doing it in a different aspect. While you're trying to protect your business in the cybersecurity world, in the marketing world, you're trying to win them over to be able to find out and actually get them to invest in your product or service. So the mentality is you're just trying to find out what the pain points are, right?
Yeah.
When marketing. And it's the same thing in cyber, but that it was more of a hobby more than anything else.
Yeah.
Doing the whole cyber thing,
Interesting.
my real thing was the actual marketing and advertising thing.
That's crazy. Cybersecurity as a hobby.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
Not maybe.
No, definitely. That's impressive.
I love it. I love it. So, dude, that's awesome. So, okay, so you start with this path, right, into the marketing. Then what exactly marketing? Because we talked a lot about different like aspects. We see it as literally like Lego pieces. We start putting together in there, right, to create like that whole system. So, what specifically you've been working on?
So I'll tell you from the beginning, I was doing started with SEO because I came on was design.
Yeah.
And learning SEO was the most, at that time, more logical approach. So I started off from that, and I just felt miserable doing it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because the time frame to get results for that avenue, even though it's a great strategy, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
So then I started doing like learning different aspects of marketing, advertising, Facebook advertising, Instagram, but mostly more now than ever is figuring out ways of how to package everything and create a real good system and framework where people can just start getting leads quickly and be able to close those sales right away.
Yeah.
And we do that through funnels and messenger marketing. And that has been my go-to marketing strategy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it that you mentioned messenger marketing. I feel like, I mean, we run across some people that know about it, that they talk about it, but we're not very familiar with it. We know it's a very strong, I'll say, like tool to use, like, I don't know, like Lego piece that you can build into your marketing campaigns. How, you know, like, how did you get into that, right? Like into that packaging systems framework to sell quicker and using also like messenger, right? And funnels.
Because of the problem that I was seeing a lot in the marketing advertising world where I kept hearing emails dead, right? And this is a new fad. Then there's the cold calling, and cold calling is dead, and then you have to do this way. And you always hear, and I know that's like a marketing strategy just to throw rocks at the competitors and then come up with your own framework. But with messenger marketing is like the gateway that you can be able to create your omni-channel approach. Because from Messenger, you start building your list, which is like the most important thing any business can do. From there, you can collect their email, collect their phone number, build engagement, create loyalty, and send them to wherever you want them to go, whether it's a website, funnel, a video, YouTube, your podcast. So it's like, it really felt like that was the gateway to actually funnel people in and continue building engagement. That's the reason why we went that direction.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. I mean, I think that's such a fascinating thing. Like we personally don't play much with like messenger bots or whatever, but we've seen sequences and they're amazing. And we actually work with a company. They're like a real estate company here in town. 80 employees, amazing people to work with, and they have a whole flow of things. And when we're seeing the whole mapping, it's truly incredible how these communication cadences happen, and depending on like the communication of the prospect, right? So it's really a good filter for those conversations. And you know, we touch a lot on content conversations, and even though we're massive fans of those organic conversations, these can be kind of like a level where you can expand, you can like multiply these conversations across a ton of platforms. So I think it's really interesting, and you know, I'm sure like at some point we'll start looking into that as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's a great tool to, I mean, leverage, because we got limited time, right? So there's so many conversations that we can have personally, and I think this tool just allows you to like multiply that, right? And not only that, but start like filtering those person that then, okay, now I can have this conversation one-on-one with this person, and they have gone through all these filters, all these messages. That means they're probably very, very interested, right?
Right, and not only that, is like one approach that we use is creating video content that you can actually put into the workflow. So you're combining video, putting it into Messenger, and if you really want to go a step further, building a customer support right into the platform, where if people have any questions about your service or what you do, you can build it right in Messenger and have that as your customer support. And if they need a live person to interact, then they can always request the admin. So there's so many different possibilities that you can use inside Messenger. So it's an awesome way of how to not just stay focused on one end, but really funnel it to wherever segment that you want it to go.
Yeah, I do love the idea that you said that you can use it to send people to your other content, right? Like use it for those touch points. And I think we've seen it that way especially with Josh 40.
Yeah.
He actually promotes his podcast that way. He sends, I'm guessing he has a messenger list and he sends, hey, today's episode is XYZ. And I found that pretty interesting. I'm actually super curious to see those numbers. See like, how many people click on this stuff, right? If he keeps using it, I'm pretty sure that it has been very, very helpful.
Yeah. So, Steven, I have a question, right? Like with the clients that you work, or maybe like yourself, right? Like when you start like this journey through the, finding that audience and creating these filters and these conversations, what are some roadblocks that you normally see, or maybe that you've seen, also in your own agency, and how like do you go about like overcoming those to make sure that you find actually your dream customer? In the past episodes, we kind of honed down on your dream audience, the person that you really want to work with. And like Gavin said that one day, hey, who's that person that you want to drink a beer with if you drink beer, right? If not, you can go for coffee. But, how do you find that person, and what is your experience personally and with your audience?
Okay, I'll explain from experience. I think I've kind of felt to my dream customer. I was searching so much and I couldn't find it. And it just so happened, like one customer that I was working with, it just landed on me. And I was like, oh, that's the person that I want to continue working with.
Yeah.
So how we first started off in our agency, we were providing services for restaurants and hotels. And it was awesome. It was great. But, I still didn't find like that desire, because it's a different environment. Then one day I was working with a coach. Actually, he was my coach. So the way it worked out, he was my coach. He was my performance coach. And in one session, I remember it. He was training me on marketing and sales. And then in that same session, I pitched him on something.
All right.
I pitched him on our program. So I still had some payments left to pay off his coaching program.
Yeah.
And I told him, how about I do some work for you and you kind of remove the remaining balance of it.
That's smart.
The pitch was really, really great on my side, because then I got to learn like this is the person, this is the dream customer that I want to work with.
Yeah.
Right. He has an audience, or at least trying to build his program, trying to, level his coaching program online a little bit more. And that's where I started aligning myself as that's my dream customer. So I think a lot of times what we're told to do is like really find out what's your passion, or find out, first look into it. I think once you start working with people, different types of businesses, you start to gravitate of, I don't necessarily want to work with this type of business, and I want to work with this one, right? So you get to experience, like majority of someone starting up, they'll do a lot of work for free. I've done it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've done it, right? Just to get some case studies. But then you start to realize people that are just starting off don't really have the budget, and it becomes difficult. Like, all right, some people are going after startups. Startups is really difficult because they don't have the content, they don't have the assets, they don't have everything in place. So even though you can get them results, it's going to take them a very long time. Yeah. So that for me, it was like, I don't want to work that. That's too much.
Hey,
so I decided to go with somebody who's already at a certain level.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right? So I think it's
Sorry. Keep going.
I'm pretty sure you feel it too, right?
We were just gonna say like that story like resonates big time, because I mean for the first 3 years, one of the reasons we struggled with was because, well, first we were working.
First we started with restaurants too.
So
we know
obviously
the
it
pain.
resonates. We know the pain. Yeah, restaurants, please level up, man. Come on, you guys can do it. We believe in you. But at the same time, we're like, we started, providing these videos for free to go in, and then we, just like you said, we found out that maybe that person, that profile of customers did not have the money to continue to do the and scale, because the systems were there to support whatever is coming in as a new process, right? So, and I found really interesting, because in a lot of the conversations that we've been having, and we're gonna touch on the coaching side too, because I like that topic, but it's like, hey, you need to discover who your dream client is before you go out, right? I think like people assume that, and the fact that you discover them while you were working, like try things out, right? Be willing to go in and fail, or like go in and maybe willing to test out different customers, so then you can identify what makes your dream customer. I think that was really interesting.
Yeah, no, I love that, what you're talking about right now, especially because, I mean, we recently read this book, Barking Up the Wrong Tree, where the author mentions, you know, like extroverts are perceived to be luckier than others, right?
Yeah.
And the whole thing is that they just put themselves in front of more opportunities than introverts. That's the whole thing, right? So when you're telling me this story, I'm like, it's the same exact thing. Like, to find your message, to find that who, just put yourself in front of as many people as you can, and then analyze. Now, okay, yes, we need to be rational. We need to start analyzing who we're working with. Do we like this person? Do we like how they operate? Can we operate with them? And then eventually you're going to be like, okay, this is the right person I want to work with. And then you can center your message. You can say, like Todd Brown was saying, right?
Yeah.
Be a student of the market, and you can analyze what was it that you know, like this person liked from my services, my products. And you can go on and then, okay, I'm going to do the exact same so I can get the same exact type of people into my business. So I love that. I think that was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, good job. So
Right, and to add to that, like once you get one person that you already built the system, you already knew how to get that person, so it's a lot easier moving forward, because all you got to do is just replicate the system for the next person.
Yeah.
exactly. I think that what you just said is so key. Replicate the system. And I remember like going back and looking at all the things that we were doing like a year ago. They were all completely different for each client that we had. And we were literally going crazy. And I think that was around the stage that we met you. And since then, we really honed down on the one thing that we do, and the growth has been exponential.
Yeah. I mean, Frank Kern has this story where he's like, all his clients ask him, you know, like, how can I make so much money and stuff? And then he's like, well, tell me, what did you do before to make money? And they show him, and then he's like, okay, we're going to go back and do that same exact thing.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Like, I don't know why when we find something that works, we want to change it. I have no idea why we do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
It's like, what's the next run? I think because like visionary kind of deal thing, but we had, you know, really down and focus on to see what the priorities are. That's awesome. So you touched on coaching, right? You mentioned, hey, you had a coach, and we're both together in this coaching program. How important has coaching been for you to develop your mindset and to get actual results personally and for your business?
That's an awesome question. I would, without a shadow of doubt, I'm 1000% all for getting the right mentor, the right coach in all aspects of your life, not just in business, but in your life, in your spiritual, whatever it is, because there are people that already have been there, and they can guide you to really shortcut and shorten the gap that instead of doing all of the trial and errors for yourself. For many of us, we're like, I was really stubborn in the beginning, trying to do it all by myself. And then I found out that was the longest and most expensive route. So people who think coaching is expensive, it's even more expensive when you try to do it on your own.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I started realizing, that if I really want to speed up this growth process of me personally, I need to start investing in other people, because they have been there, they have seen it already, they can guide me. So absolutely, I mean, that's been, I wouldn't, it's hard to quantify it, but that has been like the number one thing that has been a major game changer for my life and for my business.
Dude, I love that, how you said, if you try to do everything for yourself, that is the longest and most expensive route. You know, and we are so tied down by that ego, like that mentality of like, oh, I'm going to hustle and grind and do it all myself, and I'm going to be a self-made millionaire. Well, let me tell you something. Even if you are, and I'm doing air quotations here for those that are not watching the video, a self-made, like you learn from somebody else something, right? You were probably looking for the resources in other places and investing your time learning from others so you could get in that spot. So what you mentioned there, right? Like, closing the gap. Like, you need to acknowledge there's a gap on where you are and where you want to be, and then find that person that is where you want to be.
Yeah.
Pay them the money. That's it.
Commit. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it is gonna be difficult to pay that money, because I mean, it was difficult for us when we invested in that coaching program. We were sweaty.
We had no money.
You know, our hearts were about to like freaking pound out of our shirts, or like, oh, but you know what? We committed, we did it. We like to say, we got ourselves between the wall and the sword. And when you're in that situation, all you got left to do is take action. And then while learning from these people, oh, it's gonna blow up.
let me share with you, because that same day, I remember when the pitch was coming, and we all know it was coming.
Yeah, exactly.
We're like,
In my
brace
mind, I was like-
yourself.
I just stood up. I was like, you know what? I didn't want to think twice, because the more you think, the more you start rationalizing yourself
Oh,
and
yeah.
start convincing yourself to go somewhere else. But I was like, you know what? I'm taking this risk, because there's nothing that I don't want to like have a safety net. Just go for it, and then things will turn out eventually. And it has, because the exposure of it has been awesome for the business. And right, you guys yourself, you've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, I think.
I mean, the network that we managed to build inside of that coaching group has been absolutely amazing.
I think we're talking to Steve about this especially, and we're like, look, in about 6 months, I think was the time. In those 6 months, we literally 6x the revenue that we did in the last 3 years, right? And not just that, it's just like the personal development that comes with it, right? The belief system that comes with it, right? Everything starts to change, everything starts to flow, and it was, I mean, as in we're recording now, we're like halfway through 2020. But we, at the beginning of 2019, that's when we really decided to make our first like investment, right? And it was a conference. It was like $100, and we were like freaking out. We're like, should we pay the $100? Like, should we travel to, you know, the city to do this? And the city is literally 4 hours away on a driving. It's not that we didn't have to fly, right? And we're freaking out. We're like, and going from there to invest in a coaching program that's about 30 grand a year, right? Like, that's a massive leap within 1 year, because what we saw in that investment, immediately we took action, right? And that's the thing. I feel people that have negative connotations around coaching and around these programs is because they do not take action. So we grabbed and took action immediately, applied it to one of our clients. She made about $12,000, and we're like, oh my God. And then we continued with her for about a year, which gave us the capital to continue to invest in the business. And then we did about 2 other investments. And then that was the final one, the coaching that we are right now. And it has been amazing, right? So I think taking action, right?
To add to that, you know, what's so awesome is like, one thing that I learned is when people have a reservation or objection to actually invest in yourself is not because of the program or the coaching. It's they're afraid that they won't be able to execute or implement what is being taught.
That is.
So that's what. So what the real fear is that people don't think that they can be able to do it. So it's really like a lot of times has nothing to do with the program or the person teaching it. They see the offer is awesome. It's just internally they have the fear of. And I was like that for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why. Sorry for interrupting, but I think that's why people like done for you things, because they don't want to do it themselves, or maybe they don't have the trust on themselves to do it.
Right.
And that comes at a price.
That does come at a price, exactly. And
and you know, to take it. It's the same concept, like even if you're building a business, for those listening, or if you're building a content team, right? We talk, obviously, this is content centered, but the same thing. Like, if you don't want to do it yourself, you're probably gonna have to invest in a team that can translate your thoughts or your goals or what you want to do with either that content or that business to take it to the next level. We actually had like a 1 month review with our internal team, right? And there's different phases that we now going forward. But we literally doubled the output and the sales since we got them in 30 days, which has been incredible. And again, we went through the same mindset problem at the beginning before hiring them, because it was like we were in a tough position, right? In the middle of coronavirus, in the middle of all this craziness. And we're like, do we make this investment? And we look back and we're like, look at the results that got us. We should apply the same way. So if it's not coaching, go invest in a team, in somebody that can do the things that you don't either want to do or you don't enjoy doing it. So thank you for bringing that topic, Steven. That was awesome. I think I love it.
I think this right now is a good segue to talk about what you're doing right now. You know, like putting this summit together. Because again, like when this situation started, taking action and be willing to say, okay, I have to let go of some of my resources so we can hire some more people and exponentially grow or impact, right? And bring more value to more people. And not only that, but help now the people that we're bringing in. Now it's an extra responsibility. right? And I know the summit that you're putting together is all about not only cashing on your skill, but pretty much protecting your business. So we want to hear all about it. Steven, just take it away.
Okay, so I'll be quite honest, never ever thought in my life I would be hosting a virtual summit. But that's one of the perks when you start investing in yourself and investing in your programs, because it was our coach, right? I say ours because it was Steve Larson.
Yeah.
So when he was like, he made the suggestion, I was like, all right, I don't know how am I going to do this. In my mind, like I'm laughing, like we're in a meeting. I'm like, but in my head, I'm like, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
But then I found the resources and then joined a whole team, and thanks to God, everything's coming out really, really awesome. And the whole point of it really is, when you look back at how this year started, everyone says this was supposed to be our year. Every year's supposed to be your year, but it really came out like everyone's like forcefully out the door trying to do and improve themselves. And then it just hit, right? COVID hit, the economy started shifting. And I really wanted to figure out how would be the best way where I know everyone has a skill set, has a superpower. Either sometimes we don't know what it is, but everyone has something.
Yeah.
And they all have the talent. Is now, how can you monetize that? How can you still impact people even though we're at the times that we're in right now? So really it was just focused on how can I help people really extract what they're good at? How can they monetize that? Because I've seen family and friends that either lost their jobs, have been out of work for 3 months, still waiting for the government to, send them their unemployment.
Yeah.
But they have skill set and talents that if they were able to transition that and make it, go online, start teaching other people what you can do, you can monetize that and still self-support yourself and your family and your business. So I went out and started looking for all these industry experts in marketing and business and inviting them to come and speak and how they are actually using their superpower, still monetizing, and no matter what the economy does, they're still able to 6 or 10 times increase their profit revenue and still protect their business at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's I'm gonna call it a movement. I think that's an amazing movement you're putting together. Because there's a few things like you're gonna have to tackle obviously some people's beliefs in here. Like 100%. Some people might be like, oh, but like some people honestly have the thought that everything that happens in the internet is sketchy, right? So it's like, okay, you know what? Like, no, look, I'm presenting you this awesome opportunity, and some people might be farther along the journey, and they're already invested in bringing their skills online, but maybe they have gotten their knowledge or their resources not from the right person, or maybe not from someone where we're talking about that gap, someone that's already accomplished that, what they want. And I think it's amazing the quality of people that you're bringing together for this summit is mind-blowing. When you showed me the website and I started scrolling and I started reading those names, I was like, wow, these people are big
trustworthy
time.
Big names. That's the thing, because we see a lot of people around that might be advertising, and you saw it as soon as COVID hit. There's a ton of people who are running ads and so-called experts, so-called gurus, and they completely disappeared, right? And everybody that you're bringing together to this summit, they're really trustworthy people that are delivering results to not just their clients, but like to different audiences, right? And they're coming together for this amazing summit to basically teach you how to cash in on your skill, because everybody has. We thought we didn't have one. It took us a while to find it. I think we did, and we've seen incredible results because we've been learning from people like the ones that you're bringing to the summit. So I'm extremely excited to share that.
Yeah, my skill, I think, is to bother my brother at the office while he's trying to work.
You're probably really good at that. That's like an extreme superpower.
The typical little brother superpower, right?
He is the expert. Yes, he was born with that.
Yeah, and I love, so again, going back to the summit, stop with the little brother thing over here.
Dang.
But like how this was born. Yes, like Steve Larson, our coach, he gave you the idea, right, of a summit. But then I love how you took the opportunity of, hey, like there's so many negatives around, happening right now. And a lot of people have been very reactive to coronavirus, right? And to everything that's happening. They're like, no, I'm just going to sit and wait till it happens, or I'm just going to, like sit down here and cry. And I know that, that if that sounds rude, I'm sorry. But a lot of people have been very reactive. And I love that you were being proactive. And not only that, like, I feel like your proactiveness comes to make other people proactive. Kind of like, hey, look, there are other possibilities. Join, and I'm sure you will find out something. Like, you have over 20 experts, if I'm not mistaken.
We're working on getting over 25 to 30 experts come in. And just to talk about that is like, really, we're not trying to make it like another summit that you go in, get a whole bunch of knowledge and don't do anything with it. We have 3 goals for it: to get the knowledge like you're supposed to, but be able to execute it and get results from it. So we really want you to be able to learn from these experts, hear what they have to say, implement what they're going after, and see the result by taking imperfect action.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Sorry, you're gonna step in.
Sorry, no. Let me talk. Okay, so this is just a quick parenthesis. Okay,
cool.
Just a quick parenthesis. Just bringing it back to like that one thing, right? Where we're talking about taking action. I think that's a very important step. A lot of people just give the information and then
I think that's the most important step.
Just stay there, kind of like sitting. And I'm like, well, okay, what do I do now? So I think that's amazing that you guys are adding that step into the summit, because that will give it direction. And the next point I want to make is, just like finding your dream customer, this is going to give you a ton of options, because these experts have different backgrounds. So then you can go ahead and find that information that's applicable to you right now that you can resonate, and then apply on that. So it's not just one topic. Yep. And it's obviously over cashing your skill, but you can choose where to start. So I think that is amazing.
Yeah, I want to double down on that last point that you did, is because sometimes, I don't remember where I heard this, but we used to go to these events, right, when we started going, and I was like, I need to learn everything from everyone. Yeah. It's impossible. First of all, like, you cannot learn everything from everyone. So you need to go. Brandon Burchard, that's the one that he was talking about this. He said, you need to set an intention. Who I'm going to go and learn from, and then apply it, take action on that, like you were saying. And that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's what I love, that you're making it. You are taking a proactive initiative and incentivizing other people to be proactive by taking action, right? So I invite people to go check it out, and we're gonna put the links everywhere. Don't worry, you're not gonna miss the links. But I love that, right? Like, find who's that person that is coming, right, with the expertise that calls the attention, based on the skill that you have, and then be present with that person. What is that person gonna teach? And then take action. Absolutely. What are some of the challenges of putting this virtual summit together?
You need to have a lot of time and a lot of resources. That's been the biggest challenge. Yep. But thankfully, we got people like you, because you forgot to mention that you guys are also joining the summit.
Hey, let's go.
Say what? Really? Oh my God, say thank. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, man. It is really an amazing opportunity just to be, sharing the digital stage with all of you guys. So appreciate that.
Yeah, when we saw the names, we were like, what? Like, screenshot. It's like, let's go. Hashtag humble brag.
I'm really excited for it, and I'm super stoked for the people the lineup that we have. They're awesome. Like, from Dana Derricks talking about Dream 100, from Steve Larson, king of offer creation. We have a huge lineup. Then Dennis Hughes coming, talking about Facebook advertising. Amazing. We have you guys doing the content. And then we have marketing, video marketing. They're just, and awesome that people don't really know is we have the team that did the KBB launch, their messenger platform. They're actually coming to speak. That's David and Philippe. They're awesome.
For those listening, for those listening, if you're not familiar with them, they made 2 years in a row the biggest launches in the internet ever. I can't remember the exact amount, but I think it was like $3 million or something like that in one day.
The first launch was $3 million in 1 hour.
Wow.
So, if you're listening, go ahead, sign up right now, because people like that are coming and they're teaching you exactly, what are the next steps so you can take action immediately.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, what can people expect? And you were already telling all these names and what they're bringing onto the table. So honestly, I just want to invite you to keep saying, who else is coming and what else they're bringing to the table.
Just come to the website and you'll see all the names that are coming.
That's good. I love
We
it.
have a huge lineup.
I love it. I love the open loop right there.
Yeah, I think, you know, at the end of the day, right? Like if you're in the audience, if you're watching this live or you're listening, right? It comes down to mindset. Do you really want to do it? And I will share a quick story. I was in this group coaching call where everybody's introducing themselves, right? And we have people from all over the place. We had people that are working, and this is the side gig. We have people like us that have been in business for a little bit. There are people running the whole training call and whatnot. And everybody's like sharing their experience right now with COVID, right? And this lady kind of takes over and she's like, guys, I really want to share this with all of you. And, you know, everybody's quiet. You could tell like her face was, you know, tense and a little nervous. And she goes like, look, I was working in the cruise industry, right? And obviously that's one of the things that got really bad with COVID, right? Everything stopped. And I was one of the first layoffs, right? And I had a choice. Where that night I sat down, I'm like, okay, should I go get unemployment? Should I, you know, do whatever, right? And hey, no disrespect of whatever like decision that you make. But the decision that she made, she called her parents, right, immediately and told them the news. And the parents like, oh my God, like poor you, what are you gonna do now? And she's like, don't feel bad for me because I'm not unemployed. I am self-employed.
Perspective. I love it.
My jaw just like dropped because for somebody that has never stepped into entrepreneurship, that has never built a business, that has been in corporate for, I think she said like 20 years. And then to change that perspective, I'm like, look, I am here. I'm going to show up. I'm willing to learn. I am not unemployed. I'm self-employed. That is huge. So I encourage you, if you're in a similar situation, if you're watching, listening, please change your perspective. This is not going to change. And if you do have a skill, go ahead, click the link because this is going to give you some direction.
Yeah, I love that story. It's
powerful.
Amazing. I'm like goosebumps everywhere.
Yeah.
And I love it. Again, it's about changing perspective and seeing things as an opportunity. And what Steven is bringing you right here is an opportunity for you to learn how to cash in on your skills. So, Steven, please, where can people find you? Where can people sign up for the summit?
So my handle is Steven Crissen. That's CRISSIEN. Just message me. But if you really want to get involved in the summit, is cashinonyourskillsummit.com. Get your free ticket. And when you sign up, you're also going to get my free challenge funnel already done for you. You get that as soon as you sign up, and a lot more other bonuses are coming your way.
Woohoo. Wait, you did say that this was free?
Yes, absolutely free.
Wow.
Wow.
So let me explain real quick. It's going to be a 4-day live event. So it's absolutely free at the comfort of your home. We're doing it a virtual session, so that way you don't have to travel. You don't have to worry about finding babysitters. You're there. And the beauty part is once you receive the interviews and get the knowledge that you get, you're right there at your comfort of your home. Start implementing, executing. That's the key. Start getting results.
I love it.
Guys, the bar could not be lower for this as far as like starting up.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about minimum viable content. We talk about, like building those habits that are going to take you next. And the key to building those habits is to set the bar low so you can always do it, right? Well, all you need to do is go to the website and click a button, and you are in the Cashing on Your Skills Summit.
So we're going to leave that link in the description, obviously. Yep. Obviously, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to Steven, to reach out to us at Biz Roscoe. We're happy to help and direct you.
We always leave people with an action point, right?
Yeah.
And today's action point is to take action on going to the website and signing up for the summit. As simple as that.
Yeah. So, Steven, you obviously, other than that action point, you've had an incredible run, with your business, with the relationships that you're building, with, everything that you've done in the past few years. What is something that you could recommend, obviously, the audience, again, other than that, going to the website, please go now, that, they could learn from, or inviting them to actually execute, right? Like, what is a good action point that they can implement today?
start creating content, no matter what form it is. Find whatever you're comfortable in. I know for a long time I struggled in creating videos, but what was easy for me to create content was interviewing other people. Hence, the summit was really easy like it was a no-brainer for me, because I love meeting other people. I love finding their story, and the more you get comfortable, right? You know it. That's why your podcast is called Content is Profit, because the more you produce, the more profit you get out of it. So really executing, take baby steps. Don't really be too hard on yourself. You know, just start. That's the key. Just do something.
Love it. Thank you for the content. I admit it, but you know, to follow up that question, where would be like if you didn't start the chat at some point?
I still be clueless. I think I wouldn't have this summit. I wouldn't have the guests that are coming into the summit if I didn't do something about it. I mean, we all have that internal fear, but once you start, I don't call myself a introvert, or I'm like in between, but there's many times that I do have my own like shyness, but the best way to do it is just get out of your shell and produce whatever content you can. Henceforth, like doing this podcast is another way of challenging myself and bettering myself to really get out there and really help people, right? That's essentially what it is. We want to serve as much people as possible, but if you don't raise your voice, then how are they going to hear you?
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely love that. And I'm going to throw a super random fact in here. You were talking about, you're not an extrovert, neither an introvert. You're kind of like in the middle.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. Okay.
Again, we read this in a book. Absolutely amazing. Based on research, everything that was stated in that book. And the guy said that, like, I don't remember the exact percentage, but it's like 90% of people, something like that. They are ambiverts, right? Which is like you were just explaining right now. That in some occasions you can be an extrovert, and in some occasions you can be an introvert. So most of us have the ability of being both. So we need to see in what situation which one is better, and we can use it. Only about 10% of the population are full extroverts or full introverts. So again, just know that you have that in you, and see when you can use it to your advantage. So Steven, thank you so much for sharing that. Mind blowing.
Awesome. Any last thoughts, Steven? I think this has been an amazing show. I'm glad we did this on a Thursday. We broke the rules for you, my man.
I'm so happy that you guys invited me. So I'm really humbled by it. So I loved it. It was fun. You guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome. And thank you. And I think with that, guys, thank you so much. Go ahead, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button on Content is Profit. Please go ahead, follow us on social media at the Biz Bros Go, Facebook and Instagram. Send us a DM, slide it.
That's right, guys. And if you found this episode impactful, please don't forget to share it and leave a 5-star review. Thank you.
Bye-bye.